Hey ratbags, it's Jade. Today we're taking a look at the brand new map that's been added to Grounded. This of course is the first playground map as part of the Make It and Break It update. I'm sure you've seen my videos and other creators showing off different elements, but have you actually had a peer or look around this map to see what kind of things you can create and make? Did you also know that in the future they plan possibly to add more different empty sandboxes? This is how we might end up getting a water world, or a themed one at least in the future, or something completely different. That's according to the devs and what they said during one of the streams. If you thought this was just simply a nice overworld with maybe some little bits of water and a few rocks, you'd be mistaken. There's some fantastic anthills, dungeon areas and laboratories for you to go ahead and build your own custom maps. You can of course use the current backyard. This definitely offers a lot more creative freedom. So let's go through some of the cool things you can find on the map and I'll show you where it is. So there is an overground laboratory that you can find pretty easily. In fact, you really cannot miss it. It's in the north, slightly to the east area. What you'll find inside though is pretty special. I've been starting to add my own components to make it look a little bit more lived in. But this will all be empty and you can mess around, build it as your base if you wanted to. A laboratory obviously where you'll come to do certain things, or just ram it absolutely filled with taste teas. And I'm praying and hoping that one day the devs allow us to have base pieces like this, or something similar themed. How good would it be to have laboratory pieces? Certainly something like the glass, that'd be really cool. At the moment in design mode you can't even go ahead and use these. This is all just prefabbed and made, so fingers crossed they are going to add stuff. That is the big plan with the devs. They have said they're going to add more and more to the Playgrounds updates. I'm currently using this for my Lab series where I dive deeper into the mechanics and new stuff that's happening. And if we take a little peep all the way down, you've got some amazing little stairways. Another small area before it branches back up. Keep going all the way along, just here. It's almost a secret entranceway as it doesn't actually appear on the map. If we go back down and into the red zone, and this is the really cool stuff. Look at this room. But this room's pretty amazing. It looks really good. So this is perfect for testing out maybe new weapons and armors or different bugs and stuff. Just wish we'd had this earlier on in the game's life, as I would have definitely used this. This isn't even the largest testing room in one of these labs though. One problem with these laboratories at the moment is that there are no ways to activate or open or close these doors. Maybe that will come in the future, but for now you will have to put your own rudimentary doorways down, and then you're forced to use something pretty old looking or just out of place like a normal base door. Pretty close by in a flower bed in the northeast corner there's this large cavern. Literally just here in the middle. Let's go in and see what's there. It is a massive arena. There's all sorts of different tunnels to go down. This cavern is absolutely huge. They pretty much come to a nice little overlook. It's actually going to take us outside as well to another entrance. Just here. So we are actually in the top part of the flower bed. So really good if you're questing and you want players to come up here. Maybe you've turned the building off, that would be the only way. And here's the entrance way to the flower bed just here on the map. Changed the marker for it and this is where you'll come out. This area is pretty cool. Just lots of little shallow puddles. Not much else really going on. I was half hoping there might be some more secrets in the brickwork, but when you utilise some of the cheats and look around, there's nothing else going on. If we go back down the way we came, and a bit further along, there is another tunnel just close to this one, and this takes you down even further. If we go back down to the rest of the lower part of the yard, just here, there's another entranceway, and this is even deeper and bigger than the previous. Multiple ways to go, multiple different big large chambers, and me realising that a torch is still going to be a lot better than the actual headlamp. So many little canyons and areas that you could separate off. So this tunnel system underneath the flower bed I'm going to call Z on the map just here. But wait, there's more. If you go all the way over to the eastern side of the map, just about here, you'll find a laboratory door. You've got plenty of laboratory spaces. I've got these. This is really cool. I would wish we could have glass floors like this. Another giant laboratory space, and going even further. It's a little bit ridiculous how big some of these are. extremely easy to get lost, so if you are designing a dungeon, make it not too hard for players. This one leads to a tunnel system, which we'll explore in a minute. We'll go down this red path here, and it takes us to another giant testing room. Even bigger than the one that we found earlier. Again, another system going down to another red area, another tunnel taking you further down, and again another entranceway into another tunnel system. This time we get to see some of the base pieces above us, the laboratory. It's just so easy to get lost. And there we go, we found the other laboratory entrance, which does branch off again to small little cavern areas here too. Just look at the size of it. So that's the big massive chamber there. There's all the dirt tunnels and all the connecting laboratories. What could you build there? What kind of adventure map are you going to create? But wait, there's more. There is a smaller tunnel system here, just near this large boulder. You'll see it as you're approaching it here. This takes you down to a smaller little cavern area. So if you want to test things out a little bit and not have the players getting too lost, you could have them just come down here for one particular boss fight. Right in the northwest corner of the map, we do have this larger boulder, and we've got this sunken area here, which I kind of like. Lots of nice little cliffs going around the outsides. Obviously people have been remarking that there's no pebbles or any of the usual stems, so you may have to plant a lot of them by hand. Maybe that will be added in time. There is another tunnel on this side though. This one's got quite a long little entranceway winding round, though you do have a bit more vertical drops. So you want players not to get back up and force them through the tunnel, then you can absolutely do that. Having a boss fight there maybe. Does remind me a lot of the Black Widow lair. Again, really good one if you're just starting out creating your first dungeon. Here it is on the map right here, all the way in the southeast. So yes, there is a big puddle of water, but no, it's not going to be deep enough for you to really do too much with. Sure, you could put some water creatures in here, and you might be able to fit a Trudy, but it does look like devs have responded and said that they are thinking about adding more types and different playgrounds in future. So we can only hope one of them would be a water one. So you've got a more traditional anthill right here. This is another huge large space, and here it is on the map. I'm going to have this image posted in my Discord, so if you want to come check them out quickly you can. As it still takes quite a while if you're trying to think of flying around with the gnat. You can speed things up, but yeah, it's not as quick as the cheat I'm using. It's got multiple different routes you can go, and eventually they all kind of meet or snake around until obviously a giant arena down below. And I keep saying that, but it's going to be mad just getting lost. And this is the large boss arena that you could potentially have. There is a nice big large baseball here if you want to use it. And again, nothing really too exciting happening in this corner of the yard. All the way over to the southwest. There is a few places where bricks are missing if you want to do some brick wall parkour. But be careful when placing stuff near the bricks, sometimes they won't actually work. You may end up creating a death box if you go too close to them. But wait, there's more. More or less opposite that anthill, there's actually a couple of little places to check out. You've got a laboratory entrance there, and another small anthill entrance here, or cave entrance. So let's go in through the laboratory here. This one's kind of like a busted, broken laboratory. There's a few ceiling tiles missing as we go further down, but there is something pretty cool. You can also see out. There's no actual way to get out there, from here at least. It's definitely got a lot more smaller areas to explore. If you really want a maze-like effect, I'm not too worried about having a huge arena. This one might be the best one. You can see here's the broken part that will lead you down into the tunnels. Like I said, it's just a huge maze of these going down, round everywhere. There is a testing area, and I like this one because it's got a glass floor. Slightly different colour walls as well. I think everyone's going to be doing the usual. Go here, get a key, eventually open up a doorway, take on this boss. This one obviously leads to more of the tunnels. You can place explodable rocks, so maybe you can block up like it's been a kind of landfill. An earthquake has meant some of the rocks have fallen, blocking the laboratory entrances. It's just another huge area. There's just so much you could put and add in here. Could be good also if you made it that you had to find certain build pieces, or the possibility of adding a jump pad somewhere. And again, you can get underneath this one as well. How cool would it be if you had a massive mantis in here or a boss fight? What I really want to see as well, that we can have some of these lights and be able to change the colours on them. Since it's obviously what's giving the glow in some of these laboratories, let's have them in the playgrounds mode as well. And just to show you the scope of it as well, how big it is. This is what it looks like from the outside. 2 giant dirt arenas. Just tons and tons of laboratories. With even this one that I missed, where you can only gain entrance via a little porthole at the top. And for the laboratory and the cave system with the biggest testing area, I've marked it out with this. This is the second entranceway. You can see they're relatively close together. But if you go down this series of tunnels, eventually you might get lucky and find the laboratory system. And then eventually at the end of that, you find that giant, massive testing area. Now I know I keep saying that every one of these is giant, massive and a labyrinth. But this one really does feel like it. Call this one D. Here on the map, just between, or it's kind of near this big puddle, over to the slight west side. Go quite down a steep incline. Relatively simple with only one way to go. When you get down, just look at the space you've got here. This isn't even the biggest part. It's just crazy how much of this there is. I'm struggling to see how people could actually fill this with stuff that isn't just going to make it a boring walking simulator. Just a massive giant space. A small little hollow that you can maybe make a boss appear from. But perhaps the toughest of them all is this anthill here. There's 2 entrances. And it's just the most complex series of tunnels you can find on the map. If you really want players to get lost, this is the one. There's multiple different ways to go. It's definitely reminding me of the fire anthill times 10. Jump down this way and you start and got all sorts of different ways. Ledges, drop-offs, in fact quite huge drop-offs. And just multiple different routes and pathways to go. They all snake round and loop on each other. So yes, if you want to design a ultra hard labyrinth, maybe some interesting parkour across these chasms, this one is going to offer all of that. Again, just to show you how big it is from the outside, just look how many different ways there are. That's the big central chasm. You can see there's smaller little ways to go as well. It's just ridiculous how big and large this area is. The other entranceway is at the back, pretty much where I set up my laboratory, the ones that you can see on the map. Relatively close by is the other entranceway. So there's both the entrances on the map towards the north. There are obviously some nice areas for trenches as well. I played one map that had lots of bombs and explosions going off, which was pretty cool. And there is actually 2 amounts of water. But again, probably maybe a little bit slightly deeper. You might be able to get Trudy in this one. So there we go, that's all the secret laboratories, hills that you can discover on the brand new grounded map. What are you going to be doing? Are you going to be going straight for the laboratory that you can see on the map itself? Making more of an effort to go towards the supersized max testing area once you get through all of the caves. Just make sure you bring some teleporters with you. Build a base with the tunnels and the caverns that lead to the flower bed, or go deeper underneath. A huge ant cave system underneath here. The possibilities are so freaking cool. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Make sure you come and join my Discord and the official one. Post any maps that you're making. Give me a description, maybe post some screenshots, and I'll show off your creations in live streams in the future. This update is going to be live for everyone on the 13th, don't forget. And I'll see you ratbags later.